All right, Tempered Steel. This was one of the cards that was put into Historic via a Historic anthology. 3 mana enchantment, artifact creatures get +2/+2. We also gained some other good artifact creatures in Kaladesh Remastered recently with like Bomat Courier here. So we've got a bunch of cheap artifact Dorkos. We've got Steel Overseer to help pump up the jam as well. We've got Servo Exhibition to throw a couple more artifacts into play. We've got Pia Nalar here to let us push damage and spend extra mana on. And then Showdown of the Skalds seems like a phenomenal piece of top end for this archetype. We've got so many cheap cards. We would love to play a bunch of spells and put 1/1 counters on things. So the mana base in here is pretty straightforward. I've got 4 Ramunap Ruins as well as 3 Sunscorched Desert as utility lands in the deck, because remember, Ramunap Ruins can sacrifice any desert, so these Sunscorched Deserts pair with this to turn into 3 damage lands, which is sweet. Sideboard's just a mix of like good red and white cards, so let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels today. Mom and Pop Thopter Shop is unfortunately not legal. Yeah, I think if Mom and Pop Thopter Shop was legal, I would play them over just Pia, but alas, they are not. Yeah, this hand looks fine, right? I'll bottom the Stonecoil Serpent. What's our plan without Tempered Steel? Steel Overseer is a payoff, and Showdown of the Skalds is kind of a payoff too. Mom and Pop Thopter Shop are for Magic Origins. Thanks for the stream title poke, I appreciate you. I think if they sweep, I'm turning Bomat. I'm turning my Skalds into 3 other cards here. I think... This might be wrong, because, like, Skalds is pretty good. Like, without the guaranteed land, Skalds isn't really doing anything. They didn't sweep me last turn, so beep beep, all in. And then, like, they're at 8, and I'm gonna have, like, 6 damage sitting on the table here, which is pretty sick. Save another growth spiral here, like a piece of spot removal. Silas Goodbottom, welcome back. I think that's a username I recognize. Yeah, previous sub. Welcome back to Oglandia. I believe there's going to be 8 champions, Maka. We should get 8 or 5 Shurima champions, and then 3 from other regions. Hope of the Ghirapur's effect only works if it dealt damage to your opponent, so its effect didn't do anything. Previously banned in Standard All-Star Ramunap Ruins here. Definitely want Torch of Defiance against Control. I don't know if I want Rampaging Ferocidon or not. I think we wait and see what cards they bring to the table first. Just bring in a couple of Chandra. Yeah, this upcoming expansion is a big card drop mock art. It'll be 80 new cards total as opposed to the smaller 40 card drops we had seen before. Belittle, thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. It's fine, we'll draw some red lands. My deck actually has a really high land count in it. I think we're on like 23. I'm a big fan of getting to cast my spells. You'll never catch me! I'm the gingerbread man! He's coming for you, chat. Everwind, good morning. Almost afternoon here. You, upstairs. Not the gumdrop buttons. I think I'm gonna chill on this for now. Let's do this and see if we can get a sweeper or something out of them. Post board, they're a lot more likely to have a sweeper than game one. Because I'll know to mulligan accordingly for it. God, how old is Shrek? Do I want to know? When did Shrek 1 come out? April 1st, 2001. Oh no! It's 20 years old, chat! How is it 20 years old? Oh, I shouldn't have looked. I shouldn't have looked, chat. Oh, no. Oh, no. When I turned 30 this year, chat, my 5-year-old suggested maybe we should get a different house so that way I didn't have to do the stairs because I was now old. I had never been so hurt before in my life. He genuinely thought he was being helpful and nice. Did it hurt almost as much as doing the stairs? Hey, these are my cards. Your move, Yugi boy. It doesn't look like it, chat, but we've got 6 damage sitting in play at the moment, so... We're not that far dead. We're like kinda dead, but like only mostly dead at the same time. Look at that! They're almost dead to our deserts, chat. Look at this Sunscorched Desert technology. This puts them to 12, and then like if we can survive long enough, this stuff puts them to 4. Like they got a not to. Oh no, Maze Mine Tome. All right, I think I want Rampaging Ferocidon post board here, because my opponent does appear to have Cry, which Ferocidon's a 3/3, which is nice. So I assume we are definitely behind at this point. Oh, they're just sweeping again. Interesting. I guess they want to put more counters on Maze Mind before they... You want to put some more counters on Maze Mind before they reset it? It's probably reasonable. So we've got Chandra and 3 more copies of Skalds in our deck that are great draws in a situation like this. We're going to make sure we keep playing all of our lands out so that way Skalds can happen and play some spells right after it. I wonder if the opponent's playing Ultimatum. They must be, right? That seems to be the Orion coming down here. Yeah, they're gonna reset these. I wonder if they'll reset the one on 3 or if they want to keep the life sooner. Yeah, they're feeling safe. That's probably reasonable. Jace sleeves look pretty good. Yeah, no sweeper insurance does feel a little bad. We've got Skalds kinda does that to a degree. They have the second sweeper to pull back up, but yeah, I've got 8 damage in lands, but they have 8 healing on board too. Changelings are not artifacts, no. All right, we'll pack in with that one. Probably need to restart the client here too. Audio is super bugged. Yeah, I think Ferocidon not only for... I think I want Ferocidon not only because of Cry, but also because of their tombs. And I'm boarding out Pia and these sparring contracts because they showed us multiple Cries that game. So I want to try and rearrange my creature composition here to minimize the impact of that sweeper on occasion. Whenever possible. Let's do it, chat. Bomat Courier on 1. Giddy up. Dink. Magic Arena decided it didn't want to do a sound effect, so I'll do it for us. Dink. Bink, bink, bing bong, bing bong. Oh, wait. If I get 2 of these charged up, I could use them both at the same time, right? And get the cards for both of them is how that works? Okay, I think I remember that being a thing in Standard. Yeah, because the discard your hand is part of putting the trigger on the stack. Yeah. Maybe I should have played this last turn instead of this, so this way I could keep them from sweeping me on 3. Could have been correct. I get a little bit less damage in, but it keeps them off of it, which would have been ideal. Hey, Drum, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Yeah, okay, so hold control, activate this, auto pay. Okay, so they swept our board, but we get to draw 5. Gingerbrute's hitting the gym, chat. I can technically play this out as a 0 mana 2/2, huh? Was that right? Was I supposed to play a 0 mana 2/2 there? That could have been correct. Because the next turn it would be a 4/4. I think he's dead, shit. The way they massacred my boy. This can't die to binding, which is sweet. Well, if that's their best possible play, my sequencing there is backwards. Whatever. I could just hope to draw land. I could pass and then hope to, and like desert, hope to draw another thing for desert. I don't know. I have even and odd converted mana costs here. So like, I don't get got by Extinction Event. I don't get got by Language. They needed like Ritualist Soot there basically. Yeah, they're dead. I think we're supposed to, yeah, we're just covered on every sweeper access, right? Like, they needed Soot or Shadows, and I'm not sure that either of those cards are sweepers that they're realistically playing with all the other ones that we've seen. I'm going to restart the client real quick because the audio is obviously messed up. Thanks everybody for hanging out this afternoon, by the way. Great to see over 1,200 people in here already. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch with the release of Called I'm doing Magic the Gathering as my primary content again. This set's been a lot of fun. We play both standard and historic here on stream. Usually we play 2 or 3 different constructed decks every single day of the week. Also have a YouTube channel that you can check out as well where I cut everything up deck by deck. So if you want to pick through and find the things that just look interesting to you, it's a great place to find deck ideas out. What about the Snow Sweeper? The Snow Sweeper is far too slow, and they're definitely not playing that in their deck with all the different dual lands and stuff that they have. I don't think we can keep this in good conscience on the play, which is sad. Yeah, I mean, like, our aggro deck isn't great against sweepers, like, whatever. I don't even know if that's strictly true. Like, our opponent had a lot of sweepers that last game, and, like, we still killed them. Calabrese, thanks for the follow. No, changelings. Changelings are not artifacts. Artifact is not a creature type. It is a super type. A super type or subtype. One of the two. One of those two things. Thanks to the 19 months, Kevin. Second Yorian opponent in a row. Hey, D20 Bandit, thank you for the 34 months. Good afternoon. You're just a card type? Neither. None of the above. Kurt, good afternoon. I think I actually want to wait a turn on this, because if I draw 2 lands or 2 deserts, I want to be able to play both of them here, I think. I think waiting a turn's probably reasonable. Well then. I mean, we could technically play all of these cards next turn, right? We go Tempered Steel, or like Tempered Steel, Stonecoil, second Tempered Steel, put a counter on here. Because this will make this live as a 0/0. Let me get the static effect going. Oh, right. This is something that's kind of funny, too. Showdown... Oh, actually, Showdown of the Skalds explicitly can't put counters on the Stonecoil Serpents. I knew that. Because they're protection for multicolor. These are multicolor triggers. Man, that was, like, super impressive, right? Like, we like, didn't do anything for a bunch of turns and, like, played Skalds on 5 and killed them? Like, that was sick. I board like we boarded last time. Ferocidons and Chandra's in. Destructoid, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. It's like the best Skald piles I could get. I don't even know if that's true. It's actually not true, right? I could have found a haste creature the turn prior. Client, prepare my wild cards. Tonight we feast on historic. Yeah, this hand's fine. Not amazing, but fine. It just lands. It's pretty good, I guess. I've upgraded it from fine to pretty good if we draw some lands. Hey, thank you for the third of your nipples. Hey, welcome back, Strider. Good afternoon. The lie detector test determined that was a lie, Justin. Good afternoon. No, I saw the follow, Strider Stone. I can say welcome back. Recognized a bunch of things that we followed. Crunch. If the Tempered Steel had resolved, we would have played this as a 0-0 and then used the Overseer. But alas, it did not. It wasn't meant to be, chat. It wasn't meant to be. Got my first COVID vaccine shot yesterday. That's awesome. I saw some things that, since they've gotten larger sample sizes, they're seeing upwards of like 80 to 90% effective with just the first shot, which is phenomenal to hear. It's great. It's great to hear some good news surrounding all of the events in the world. Gingerbrute, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. It's always one of the things I was worried about was when they started getting larger sample sizes, they would find that they're less effective than their initial samples did. But the fact that it's actually been the opposite so far is great to see. And just because I like to encourage people to be safe and reasonable, remember that even if you've gotten your vaccine shot, that doesn't mean you don't spread germs, which means you are still capable of spreading COVID germs to people who don't have a vaccine. So please continue to wear a mask, socially distance when possible, and be responsible until vaccine rollout has gotten to everyone that possibly wants it. That's also true too. 95% effective is not 100% effective. Man, chat, this Bomat's gonna attack as a 5/5 next turn. Beep, beep, Golos. Takes 11 mana, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're still 3 off. Dunk. There's a chance they could kill my Tempered Steel, so I'm not going to play this as a 0. Oh, playing this to give this a counter to play around Heartless Act could have been the big brain play. Alright, so let's do this, which puts a counter on here. And then let's do this, which puts a counter on here. And then 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, only 9. Okay, and then let's do this for 0, which puts another counter on here. I'm doing this for 0. I did the wrong order again. I'll be fine. They have to chump block here because I want to hold up sacking Bomat Courier to draw 3 in case they have removal next turn. Yeah, between Bomat and Skalds, this archetype gets to draw so many cards. It's sick. This one's felt really reasonable so far. I haven't found we've played a lot of like neat and interesting decks in Historic so far, but I've yet to find a deck that really like speaks to me, for lack of a better term. A deck that's like, yeah, that's the one. I want to play 800 matches of that. I'm still looking for that special something. This deck is ticking a lot of the boxes and decks that I like. Did deck donation dollars go up? They did, Strider Stone. So a majority of the decks that we are playing on stream now that I am back are decks of my choosing. And we're doing, I've been doing what I've been referring to as deck voting, where I put together a bunch of different decks and then I let chat vote on which one we play. Part of the reason I burned out last time is, believe it or not, a lot of the decks that people would be willing to pay me $10 to play were actual dog crap, and losing for an hour for $10 is not a particularly pleasant experience, so decided to not submit myself to that again. 3rd Yorion deck in a row, huh? I hadn't seen almost any Yorion in Historic. And then today happened. And then there was today. The last deck that gave me that. Oh, nope, don't click me, click you. This is target player or planeswalker. It's the last deck that gave me that feeling. There's been plenty of decks that I really enjoyed playing that. What's it called? For example, the blue-black Mutate Flash deck that we played a bunch in Standard the last 2 days is a deck that I would classify as that. Really been enjoying that archetype. I mean, to be fair, I make more than minimum wage doing my job here. Oh, I didn't actually have to shock to do that, right? Because I would have only been able to block one anyways. Whatever. It's just the amount of extra money on top of normal sub income to play bad decks wasn't worth it. Yorion Enchantments deck is neat, but it's just like, it's not doing something novel enough. It doesn't leverage the mechanics in Magic that I really enjoy. My artifacts are bigger than your artifacts. Neener, neener, neener. Because if they double block here and trade, they don't get to blink this with Yorion next turn, which is great. And this gets a little bigger. Wait, they just take a Tempered Steel instead of my Gingerbrute? Wow. Have a little respect, opponent. This Gingerbrute's gonna murder you. This one too. I guess because I drew a second one, their play actually looks pretty good. You'll never catch me! I'm the Gingerbread Man! They do get to take my other Tempered Steel next turn with this, but then they're still dead to these, right? This is 3 unblockable. Felix Gray is the brand of blue light filtering glasses that I have. They work well. I don't have a link for them or anything anymore, but I'll give them a plug. They're good stuff. This card is really good, chat. BT dubs, if you haven't played this archetype before, card is nutso. They don't have anything for 1 green that stops them from dying, right? Confirmed. All right, so this is probably not a Chandra matchup. It's definitely a Rampaging Ferocidon matchup, though. Hope of the Ghirapur is probably not very good. I'll bring in 1 Chandra. I like Chandra. I like Chandra. She's lovely. That's true. Pia stopping things from blocking might be right. I don't know. I feel like I don't want that many 3s. Like I'm boarding up to 8 3s. That would be 10 3s if I left Pia in. Bomat on 1, can't lose. Oh, they were missing a color last game. That makes sense. Is this the best deck in Historic? Well, I've played 4 matches, so empirically I can say definitely. Apparition is not usable here. I have no idea. I don't think I want to become a control deck in this matchup. So the apparitions are in my sideboard because with apparition, Baffling End, and Chandra, I think we can pull up against other aggressive decks with card advantage from things like Skalds. I don't think this is a pull-up matchup. Wow. Have a little goddamn respect for the Gingerbrute that killed you last game, opponent. Believe our opponent disrespecting the brute like this? Thanks for the year and a half from God. Yeah, we don't want to grind against the Orient deck. This card is nice because it's like a little bit of grind, but it also kills the opponent, which is ideal. I am fortunate that when Christy and I moved into this house 2 years ago, we now have a 3-card garage, so we don't have to worry about snow on top of things, which is nice. Which, for those of you that have never lived with children, a 3-car garage means I have a 2-car plus stuff garage. Our old house had a 2-car garage, which meant 1 car had to sit in the driveway, because it was a 1-car plus stuff garage. It's unfortunate that we hit 2 3s with the Showdown here. We're not going to get to generate value with that. I have a 1-car garage, which means it's a just stuff garage. Yep. Man, Thassa plus Skyclave here is a real beating. I don't know that we can beat Thassa plus Skyclave. Feeling pretty dead. I guess we're just going as wide as possible. I think the plan is go as wide as possible and then try to punk them out with Ramunap Ruins. Like, maybe we can get them low enough that they don't find some life gain here. Well, Ferocidon ping doesn't even really do anything, right? It, like, does 1 damage. So it's definitely better to play Tempered Steel and push with that. I haven't done any math, but I'm confident that this attack is correct. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done this, and I should have just activated Ramunap Ruins this turn. What I should have done. That's definitely the case. Yeah, I should have just activated a runes this turn. All right, we're done here. Okay, so I need ways to kill their Skyclave Apparitions. So I think I want my own Skyclaves. This deals with their, what's it called in a pinch too? It deals with their Thassa as well. What am I cutting? Is it just Steel Overseer? It's just Steel Overseer. He doesn't activate. He dies a lot before he can do stuff. Steel Overseer's like, I promise not to die, Dad. Put me in. Put me in, coach. To be fair, if they don't have Baffling End on 2 for this, I get to go this, into this, potentially. We hit a land drop here. It's not a Baffling End. Land? Land? You want to cut the Ferocidons? Yeah, maybe. I can see that being correct. I'm sorry I doubted you, Steel Overseer. I'm sorry I doubted you. I think I attack first and see what they do. What do we think of Skyclave Exile the Knight of Autumn there? I feel like them not trading means I feel like they're signaling Thassa. Does anybody else feel that way? Yeah, they have some way to blink this. I think we just get rid of it. Greens, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Did I give them a 3/3? If I give them a 3/3, they take 7 total. I think I'm into that. Very hot outside today, chat. Think of the scorching heat. Think of the scorching heat. Hit him with the pocket sand. Bing bonk, bing bonk, bing bonk, bing bonk. Let's go. Let's go. Do 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 do. Yeah, I wouldn't call it warm outside, but our snow's been melting too. No! Interaction! My greatest weakness! The audacity, opponent! Why would you take my good card? Wants to spar, opponent? Wants to spar? You'll never catch me! I'm the gingerbread man! Alright, everybody clench and hope for no lifelink. No whammy, no whammy. Have a good one, Seto. Don't do it. Have a heart. Just 1-1, deal. Well, shit. This is the Baffling End matchup. For those that were wondering. I'm gonna sack Gingerbrute and gain 3, chat. The actual answer is I don't think it matters. I don't really have outs from here. Yeah, I wanted to be able to sack it in case they threw lifelink on her this turn. Well-timed Thoughtseize does it all, chat. Definitely want these 6. Do I want to braids here? Do we do the full pull up? I don't know that we do. Yeah, a braid has a very small window where it's useful. It's like good on exactly 2 and not after. One, 2, 3, and a piece of interaction. About Rage cutting lands after that last one? Well, you see. A snake, oh, it's a snake. think I'm supposed to do this and smack them for 7. I think I give them a turn with the senior edificer here. And like next turn I can go land, Skyclave, play a Stonecoil as a 3/3. Ruin, when you resub, sometimes you have to click submit. It gives you a chance to send the notification through with the message. It's like looking like it's gonna be a pretty clean game on the play here for us. Enchanted creature, 4 task counters. If there are no task counters on enchanted creature counter block, it loses all abilities. Then, if it has no task, wait, what? So this, oh, I could just get rid of that, right? It's like weird passive. It's like weird pacifism that strips abilities off of it. It's basically the TLDR. Yeah, I think we're I boarded. I don't think so, Precipic. I think the fact that Toolcraft misses both Tempered Steel and Steel Overseer means it's not playable. I think your Artifact Aggro deck just looks different if you want cards that don't get powered up by those two. It's pacifism that strips abilities but goes away after 4 turns. I feel like I can't mulligan this, but I also think we're probably going to lose. Second Skalds is not great. All right, if they have a slightly slower hand, Tempered Steel's a good draw too. They have a red splash in their deck. Interesting. This stops us from exiling their stuff too. That's really strong. Is Chief of the Foundry better as P? I don't know. That's possible. I had Chief in one of my early drafts of the deck, and then I ended up cutting that for Showdowns. But I could definitely see that being better. I mean, well, Pia just like fills in the other top curve of our stuff, right? Like just because you're frequently boarding a card out doesn't make that card bad. That's something that's important to note. A lot of the other cards I'm bringing in are expensive, so for curve consideration, she's the natural trim. Going wide here. Hey, awkward. Thanks for the 10 months. Okay, we'll dig into Runeterra stuff for about 2.5 hours. Got our point of damage in from that. Okay. They're going to draw all of the cards. Double block here, go to 1. Oh, wait, what? Oh, this has first strike. I'm dumb. That's fine. It didn't really matter. I should be 2 life higher. If I realized that at first strike, I would have jump blocked here. Man, no untapped land is brutal. We can dodge. We're not even strictly dead to flying, right? Oh, I should be powering up the Gingerbrute too. That's my route to victory. I shouldn't have made this a 9. I should have thrown a thing on here. Yeah, Gingerbrute is low-key one of your best cards in the deck for sure. Maybe the opponent will deck themselves. Yeah, maybe. Oh, they got there. Audio bugs are so offensive. Skyclave Apparition is lethal. That's not quite gonna do it. Right? So I can go this. Into this. Into this. And to make this unblockable. Oh, I could have removed a counter on their turn. Sure. It's a good call. I mean, they've drawn half their deck, literally, chat. There's 30 cards left, so. for the 13 months, McBiggin. Welcome back. Do we have any outs here? Yeah, we have three cards in our deck that destroy an enchantment. We were so close. That one doesn't do it. It's really, really close game. Skalds could have technically hit Land Spirit too. Yeah, that's true. If it's something to note too, I think I made a small mistake that last turn. If I would have used my Steel Overseer on my previous turn to hit them for one more point of damage, Sunscorched Desert would have also been an out because I had a Ramunap Ruins in play. So I should have used the Steel Overseer to put them to 3, so I had more outs to kill them. And then again, this is the tough part. You know, we talk about people actually like, okay, Jeff, is this deck good? Does it feel reasonable? I'm like, well, we've been playing against a lot of other brews, and our deck feels reasonable against a lot of other brews, but like, this is the first time someone's going to be claiming our creatures and shoving them into ovens and playing Mayhem Devils, right? So, like, our deck's power level when we're playing against random brews versus playing against the good decks are going to be very different. I have 10 power on turn 3 though, so you know, got that going for us. Pretty decent. I don't know, this Mayhem Devil plus this Cat Oven seems like it just takes us out back and puts us in a dumpster fire, right? They get to kill Steel Overseer here, and then they get to recover life, and they have good blockers, their stat lines are better than ours. Again, and this is why it's so hard to test stuff, right? Like, it's easy to be like, okay, my deck felt fine in these other places, but then we get to here and we play against a good deck, and it's like, well, my deck wasn't actually good, it was just like, okay, against the bad decks other people were playing that we played against on the ladder. Like, playing on the ladder is very different than playing, you know, tournament matches of Magic. On average. Obviously, in a tournament, you'll play against decks like these, but like, you know, we've been playing Historic for, you know, close to 3 hours today, and this is the first time we've played against a deck that I would classify as good. But classify as good is strong. What I would classify as a known entity that's put up a tournament finish. So there's a chance that a lot of the decks we played against are fine and even good, but they're not decks that have proven themselves yet outside of random ladder matches. I'm sure right up until Ferocidon gets shoved into an oven after being claimed as my firstborn, it's very reasonable in a match like this. But for a lot of people, ladders where they play, you are correct. A lot of people just play casual Magic. And casual Magic's great. And casual Magic, if all you're doing is playing casual Magic and just like playing for fun, you shouldn't worry about what decks are good, bad, or otherwise. You know, just play decks that you enjoy playing. That is not the untapped white source I wanted for Christmas. But like again, the question people don't, it's not the question people ask me is, Jeff, is this deck fine for me playing casual Magic on the ladder? It's, Jeff, is this deck good? And like the is it good revolves more around how does it work in a matchup like this, way more so than how does it work in, you know, these random matches I'm playing on the ladder. The reason why people are asking the question, is it good, is because they're used to people who don't have any understanding of basic statistical concepts, or who do and are willing to lie to them, that want to tell them things to make themselves feel good about the decks that they're playing. There's a lot of people out there who don't want to just hear, you should play this deck for fun, and if you're enjoying playing it, don't worry about the win rate. That's the reality, is like, you shouldn't worry about the win rate if you're enjoying yourself and what you're playing. I think we're supposed to just like cut most of our synergy pieces here and just like be this kind of like awkward interactive deck. Yeah. Speaking as someone who makes YouTube content and has done highlights, you can make any deck look good in a 30 minute or hour long YouTube video. It's real easy to cut out the matches where you get stuffed by good decks. Do I just cut these? And this is why, and this is like, you know, what I'm considering here with my sideboarding. This is why the opponent's archetype is so strong against a lot of things that people like to brew in this format, is a lot of the sweet things worth brewing in Magic are these synergy-driven decks, and our synergies are just so bad here because of how they're going to pick us apart with things like Mayhem Devil and Claim the Firstborn. This deck is better than everything worse than it. I'll just start saying that. That's such a good line, DMS. Thanks for the follow, Super Sable. And Toshi, if you're still here, thanks for dropping in the day. "12-month subs are mods, Recon Bravo. Pawaga, thanks for the 19 months, speaking of subs. It's a little aggressive, but it lets me use my mana for the turn, so let's do it. Fred, good afternoon. I just keep removing their stuff here. I have Chandra as another piece of removal too. Well, I mean, and like, even your point there is not even really a good one, Wenzy. So like, you said you'll see if you beat decks that you'll realistically see on the ladder. Formats like Historic, and why non-rotating Magic formats are so popular, is like, you know, you always hear about, you know, people love Modern because they play at their local game store and different people bring different things every week. Formats like this appeal to people the most because the latter doesn't really have an established metagame. Like, playing casually in these formats with deep card pools, there's so many different things that you can do. Like I said, we've played probably double digits matches worth of Historic today, and I've only played against the Sack deck once, right? I think the Sack deck is arguably the best known deck in this format, and we've only hit it one time in a dozen matches. Because there's just so many my sequencing blows, I'm aware. Every time. There's just so many different things that you can do that when people are playing for fun, they don't want to play the established decks. They want to work outside the box. I'm just taking this hit here. While Chandra shoot the Midnight Reaper.
When people start screaming, I know I'm on. Feel the burn!
We're just letting the opponent know I didn't need that point of life.
Yup, you're going down.
I'm just passing. We're gonna hold this Stonecoil to play bigger. I don't know. I think Chandra needs to draw a card every turn she's in play blue. Like, the opponent, we're down on cards right now. I feel like the only way we catch back up is Chandra generating some card advantage. She's gonna die this turn, though, with the Dreadhorde Butcher, right? Huge Serpent feels risky with Claim the Firstborn. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I can't beat Claim the Firstborn anyways, so I shouldn't play around it.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
Really surprised they didn't kill the Chandra. In fact, I think now that they didn't kill the Chandra, I'm gonna go ahead and play this as a 3/3. The fact that they left Chandra alive might be our saving grace. Like I said, if she could sit here and draw 2 cards a turn, we could eventually hit a Skalds, maybe. Yeah, my opponent definitely did not give Chandra the Mind Sculptor here the respect she deserves. I think with this draw, I actually do this now. Because we might want mana off of Chandra here, depending on what this finds. Nope. Alright, so I can play these till next turn. So I think with that in mind, I play a land here, and then I plus Chandra to draw a card.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, I think my opponent left the Chandra in play there. And again, like, that's the other thing, too, like, You know, you talk about how do the matchups feel to play, it's like, well, we won that game, but like, I probably lose that game if my opponent like respects the Chandra like they should have. I'm happy with how I boarded. Exiling the token is not a legal play. Otherwise, you'd be correct that exiling the token would be better there. You can time someone out for any amount of time. You can just manually do it. The quick key buttons do 10 minutes by default, but you can do like 1 second up until like a week or two. I'm just hanging tight for now. This Bomat Courier got 1 card on turn 1. We'll eventually be able to like attack in second when our hand is empty to draw 2 potentially. Yeah, this is great for us, right? Opponent start is very mediocre. I'm supposed to offer the trade on the Gingerbrute there. See that being right. Oh, chat. Our opponent doesn't have any plays this turn. Look how unlucky they are. They probably should have companied in response in case they hit, what's it called? Most Trader and Mayhem Devil. I think I'm just passing here. Oh, they could hit Rex Sage. Yeah, that's a good call. Obviously, as a member of Twitch chat and only capable of results-based thinking, I was correct and they should have done it in response. Hey chat, remember the time it looked like their hand was bad and we had a chance and then they played 2 Claim the Firstborn and that wasn't actually true at all? We were actually just thoroughly fucked. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, I don't think this matchup's winnable. Maybe we're just supposed to put a bunch of Grafdigger's cages in our sideboard. That's probably the case, right? This is a non-rotating format. You just like try and draw your sideboard cards. How do I fit those in? But if I cut these Pias and like move something from the sideboard into the main deck, we just like main deck 2 Chandra. I don't hate that. Go down in Abrade. I mean, threatens fine at 3 mana. Like, there's been plenty of threat effects since all like sideboard play at 3 mana. What's up, oldest son?
Battle mode is before 22, but the military is something.
What you tell me?
When you do have him a call, you can't get in anymore. And always just get a call, just walk in, you hold a bridge, but they will be minutes and you give questions.
Sounds good, dude. This hand's great. Touch heavy on land. It's got a solid 1-2-3 curve. I picked up about half of that. He gets going real quick sometimes. He's telling me about Plants vs. Zombies he's been playing on his phone. Yeah, Historic would be a much better format if Claim the Firstborn wasn't legal. A lot of these decks that are just like okay against random ladder decks could be genuinely good if Claim the Firstborn wasn't something you had to compete with. They don't have a third land. We're going to be in a great spot. Rats. It's not a second red land, at least. Obviously, I should have left my 3/3s back. Are we dead? I think we're dead, right? Yeah, they have the faceless even here too. I think I just want all my cheap removal here. Hey, Captain Sedai. Thank you for the 43 months. That is a while. Good to be back. It's fine, we were dead anyways. I was thinking I wanted to attack with my 3/3s on that previous turn, so that way I could I didn't have to worry about Soulscar Mage shrinking them if I tried to block, but that was ambitious and I should have played defense. The Skalds was so bad that it probably didn't matter, but I definitely shouldn't have attacked. Good afternoon, funky business. I guess. Hoping to draw one of our many 1 or 2 mana plays for the second turn. If we draw something to do with our mana on turn 2, hand's quite reasonable. Like we draw another artifact to curve into Tempered Steel. Could be fine. Feels bad, man. Even a removal spell would have been good here. Abrade or Baffling Ends that we boarded in to kill that so I could get another trigger would have been great. See some people using the free Mythgard command. We're going to be playing some Mythgard after this match for the last couple hours of the stream. It's an indie TCG on Steam, and they're doing a promo for the next 3 weeks where you can get the entirety of the core set, which is about half the cards in their game, for free with 6 different codes. The first 3 codes are out now. If you're interested in poking at something new and different without putting dollars in, as well having plenty of cards to brew and play with, it's a great way to try that game out. If you haven't seen that game before, like I said, we'll be playing it, and I'll talk through some of the basics on stream for the last little bit today. Yikes. Runaway Steamkin living up to its name this game. Definitely Shellers. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Okay, well, I mean, I have a 2/2 at least. Soulscar Mage is really good. You should put them in your mono red deck. Prowess is great. Honestly, not even just the prowess. Being able to shrink larger creatures with your burn spells is very good. This card makes blocking very difficult. Think I'm just taking this hit, and then we can play these out, because like these are gonna be a 4 and a 5 next turn. So unfortunately, I'm losing all of these cards. Oh right, I'm getting this trigger too. So I can't play Steel Overseer this turn. And remember, you can't put Showdown counters on Stonecoil Serpent, so the reason why I didn't make that bigger was because it wasn't a legal play. Cast Gitu Lava Runner, trigger Briggy, trigger Double Steam Cannon. That's so gross. Well, the good news is I have decent blocks. There's like hoping to draw any castable threat next turn. How about another land, chat? Is another land good? It's not. As the KCI deck, it seemed playable. It didn't seem like it was doing anything particularly busted compared to the rest of the format, but if you like that style of deck, I think it's probably fine. It is not Ewok. If it was, we'd be playing it. That is a Magic Origins card. Am I dead? 6, 9, 10, 11. I believe I am exactly dead. We can eat the gingerbread monster, chat. Can I kill them on the backswing? Yeah, they're dead on the backswing if this is a blank, right? They forgot about our tasty snack, chat. They forgot about it. How could you forget about my tasty snack? It was right there. It is so delicious. You got the little gumdrop buttons and everything. Looks spicy. No, I promise you the gingerbread man is not spicy at all. He's quite sweet, in fact. Eldraine cards are broken. Yeah, Gingerbrute is unironically the reason this deck is good. Unironically. Partial plug. What's the rest of your plug? Good afternoon. All right, in it to win it, chat. We've got game-ending threat Gingerbrute in hand. Scrap Heap Scrounger. Yeah, I looked at that card. I think it's worse than the white. I think it's worse than the red payoffs. Skalds is really good. I guess you could argue we could just play 4 white-black pathways and try it. Hey, that's awesome, Ninja Turtle. Hey, look, they drew us into a land. God bless. What am I looking at?
Declan colored on Haley's blanket.
Why did he color on her blanket?
Because he's Declan.
Well, I hope he got in trouble.
He did get in trouble.
Okay.
His teacher had to ask him 3 times to get the blanket off of his face during class, and then I took it from him and found out that he colored.
Learning at home is going well, chat. Please, dear God, let COVID be over soon. Please, please, please.
I mean, at least it's a washable pretty. Still, shouldn't be coloring on blankets.
I think I'm holding this for now. Declan is an artist and you can't stop his creativity. That's true. That's just the facts. I think I'm playing this and playing this as a 4/4. I think I want to wait to play the Overseer until I can play Tempered Steel to protect it.
And then I took it out of the room, and when I went in to see him at his next class, he had it again. So he went and sawed it out and brought it back.
He's definitely my child. Well, okay, now that they spent those, do I play this out? I think so. Because you set up a children's racetrack in it. Yeah, it's super unfortunate. I think it's right to play those out there, though. Not using my mana that turn seems really bad because, like, I have Skalds in my deck, and if I draw Skalds, I want my hand to be empty. It'd be hard to discipline kids at time when they do funny, non-hurtful things. Yeah, exactly. They definitely have to, like, make a point not to crack up at certain times when things happen. Yes, you have lit the stage up. I mean, to be fair, land drops is kind of what they needed, huh? We're in the spot where that's pretty good, where, like, spells are good, but any white land is also good. So, that's a spell. And those are white lands. Sick. Alright, we should be done here, I imagine, with the Tempered Steel in hand. Play Overseer plus Steely next turn. Crunch on in. I guess I could have a removal spell for Stonecoil Serpent. Storm and Mormon, thanks for the follow. Yeah, if you're still here. Oh, right, I get this too. Love to see it. Alright, so a little bit lucky there on our part. I think the opponent punted a pretty unlosable game 2 when they missed our Gingerbrute. They missed our Gingerbrute life game. I don't think that game was winnable for us. Overall, I was pretty happy with this. I think the Grafdigger's Cage in the sideboard is probably a good idea. Other thoughts on this? It's possible that we want like a touch of interaction in the main deck. I think if you asked me to point out cards that I'm not 100% sure of, it would be like these five slots here. I don't really know, like, do I want like some Skyclaves or some Abrades or maybe main deck Ferocidons even in here? Do I want them to just be like more artifacts and be linear? But I feel like if you ask me like, Jeff, what's the core of this deck? I feel like these cards I'd consider pretty uncuttable. Showdown of the Skalds especially was super impressive in this deck. Because all of our cards are so cheap, we're really able to leverage those chapters 2 and 3 really well, which is nice. So I liked it a lot. The mana base felt good. Sunscorched Desert along with Ramunap Ruins gave us reach like we wanted it to have, like we used to have in the old standard decks, so felt super reasonable. If you're looking to play some Tempered Steel in Historic, this felt like a fine shell to do it. I really don't like Venerated Loxodon, so in order to play Venerated Loxodon, you have to stop attacking for a turn, and I really don't want to stop attacking for a turn. The other part is, in order to really maximize the potential of Loxodon, you need some white creatures in your deck, which changes the dynamic of how this is built a little bit, and you probably want to play Ornithopter, and like, while a lot of these cards are kind of individually weak, none of them are quite Ornithopter individually weak, which is different as well. Yeah, I agree. I think Skalds is much better than Loxodon. It's a little bit less explosive. You have a little bit worse like strict Goldfish hands, but I think on average the number of games you're going to win with Skalds versus Loxodon is much higher. All right, that's going to wrap on Magic for the afternoon. I'll be back with some more Magic the Gathering tomorrow morning. We're going to get Mythgard loaded up here. We're going to play some of that for the last couple hours of the stream today. It's hard to be worse than Ornithopter by itself. That's true. It's very true. If you missed any of the Magic stuff, it'll all be up on YouTube later, just like everything that I stream. If you haven't seen Mythgard before, I'd encourage you to hang out and check it out. Like I said, they're running a promo right now where you can get basically over half the cards in the game for free using their promo codes that are coming out, and the gameplay itself is very good, and the software quality that Mythgard is built on is phenomenal. My elevator pitch for Mythgard past